Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how I did my son's catalog. It's a project they gave him in school, so let me just read out what the project is all about. Theme is doctors, nurses and midwives. So the part A says, who is a doctor, where does a doctor work, who is a nurse, state two responsibilities of a nurse, who is a midwife, state two functions of a midwife. Then the part B says, with the aid of the internet, print and paste colorful pictures of a doctor, a nurse and a midwife. 3 examples of equipment used by each of them. So I usually use Canva to do all his school projects and so many other things if you've been following my channel. And I love DIYs. I love to do this. Last is the parents, they give all these things to do, because yeah, we involve the children, but mainly the parents that do this work. It's a lot of work. It took a lot, but with the help of Canva, I was able to do it. I'm very conversant with Canva, and I have a class I run that teaches you anything about editing and powerful productivity softwares like this. And yeah, so okay, I'm Canva now. And the first one is, who is a doctor? So I want to first of all collate all the pictures I need that I will be able to use as a cutout, because I already have the design in my mind, and you will see that later on in the video. So I'm going to go on and I search for a doctor, as you can see there. And yeah, out of all the doctors I'm seeing here, I prefer this one. That was why I added this particular one. And what I did was just to go ahead to resize it to the size that I want, because this is an A4 paper. That's the size of the paper I'm using, and I usually have this format. So what I do, I just delete the previous project and then add this new one. So anyway, I resize that into the size of on the A4 paper, because when I print it out, I want it to look like miniatures, literally, so I can do a cutout for my design. So I can expand it or reduce it, but this is how I want. And I just made it double so that it will just be easy for me with whatever I'm working with. So now, knowing that, I went ahead to type other stuffs like the, what they call it, where does the doctor work. I went to Google, I searched for that, for the definition that suits a child. And bear in mind that because you're doing a project for a child, so you really want to tone the definitions down that will make them understand properly what you're trying to. I mean, it's a project for children. So by the way, my son is 6 years old, so anything I'm doing should be centered around a child's mindset, literally. Okay, so I did that on Google and said, explain what a doctor is to a child, literally. That was what I did. I also went ahead and did where does a doctor work and all that. But first, let's just even collate all these pictures. Let's just put together all the pictures I need for the what they call it, for the project. So as you can see on your left hand side, there's where it's graphics. It says graphics. So I usually go for graphics because I mean it's more like an illustration, so it's better suited for what I'm trying to do. Like I said, it's for a child, and I will always choose graphics as the templates and the stuffs I will use for it. Okay, so I went ahead to put in a nurse, looking for a nurse here. I don't really like these ones, so I will still scroll down to search for more, and till I find the one I really like, which is this one. So what I did is that I just added it, and I'll just resize it to fit into my A4 paper, remember, because I'm going to print it out and I'll cut them out. So yeah, we have the nurse, and I'm going to double that by duplicating it. When you click on it, there's a plus sign there, yeah, and it duplicates. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest, and at the end you will see how it looks like. So now that I'm done with that, what I do next is to highlight each of the objects, that's the doctor, the midwife, or each of the elements, and I click on adjust, as you can see on your left hand corner. And that's when I click on edit. First of all, it takes you to this adjust panel where you can change the color, and I just click on vibrance, because when I print it out, no matter how the ink or whatever their production is, when they're printing it out, I want it to be vibrant, I want it to look sharp, I want all the colors to pop. So I'll just go ahead on the right hand side and click on download. I choose PDF because it's just easy to transfer that to print out. And yeah, so since it's downloading now, it's just going to be saved on my computer, and I send it to whoever prints for me. So now I told you we're going to look for how do you explain. That's what I do, because I mean you're dealing with children literally. So I said, how do you explain who is a midwife to a toddler? And trust Google to do the best of the best they can do. A midwife is a special helper who takes care of mommies when they are growing a baby in their tummy and helps the baby come out when it's ready. They are like really nice nurse who makes sure everything goes smoothly when a baby is born. So now, with that in mind, I'm also going to go ahead and ask, what equipment does a doctor use, just to get the full scope of the equipment I'm going to use. Remember, they said we should use 3 equipments for each of them. We're going to use that in the catalog. So, and then I wanted to be sure of what these equipments are and the easiest equipments to use. So after all that, I will now go back to my Canva and then start a new template. And I said, who is a doctor kids version, because I'm looking for something related to kids. And then I saw this one, which is nice, really looks good. I mean, it's showing a doctor there, showing a nurse, so the concept is great. So I went ahead and clicked on that and started working with that template. Now with that template, it's just easy for you to maneuver, which I'm going to show you how I did that. We have it here because I know on Canva you can adjust all these elements. That's the beautiful thing about Canva. You can do a whole lot. So now we are here, and the next thing I'm going to do is click on resize. From resize, it takes you to this crop panel where you can choose the sizes you want, and I'm just going to choose this 1:1, where it just makes it small, because remember, we're using an A4 paper that it will be printed on, but the way I have the catalog in my mind, I want it to be very small because I don't want it to be a whole booklet literally. So it's for kids, I want it to be small. So I just went ahead, clicked on edit on that particular frame to choose any of these shapes. So when I clicked on that square one, it gave me the exact size I want, which you're seeing right now. So with this square shape, I can just move it around, I can adjust it, and then I went ahead to move all these elements, because as you can see, these elements are out of form already. So I brought them in, because when I print this, I'm also considering where I will glue the sides, where I will stick it to, and how I really want it to look. So I brought in those elements here. These elements I'm going to change because already, remember, you can also get doctor and nurses and all those things. So I'm going to put my own. I'm going to take away that doctor that is right there. I'll take it away. So I just dragged some things here and there, reshaped it, and then I went ahead to choose my text, as you can see. And from the text, that's where we are going to input what we had googled. You know, we asked who is a doctor to a toddler, and yeah, I'm just going to type in that, and then I will go ahead and add in some elements that will just make it look very nice, give it that vavavoom look literally. So nothing too much, nothing, I mean, literally you have everything you have, but you can tweak things to your own preference. So I chose this particular font. I went to fonts and chose this Comic Sans. Comic Sans always look like it's a child writing. I don't know how to explain it, but obviously you're seeing it on your screen how it looks. It's not the formal professional writing. I mean, is good. It looks good for if you're doing something for a child. So I really like that font. I went ahead, copied the thing we had googled already, and then pasted it here. Do you get? Also change the fonts to be sure that it's still on that Comic Sans, so it will look like, to give you this playful writing, not something too formal, like I said. Now, as you can see, those elements are coming into the writing. The most important thing is the message you're passing. So what I did is move those elements away, edited it, made it align properly, change the spacing so that it can be clear enough to see and not too muddled up. The letters can be, clear enough, like I said, and not too muddled up. So when you're reading it, I mean, it's straightforward, it's clear, it's something you can easily read, and then move those elements away so it doesn't disturb the message you are trying to pass, if you get what I mean. So that's just how I do manipulate some of these elements here on Canva, and then just make it really look nice, because again, remember, the whole page is an A4 paper, but when I cut it off, when I trim it, this is how it's going to look. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose a question mark, because they say who is a doctor, and I don't just want to leave it like that. I don't just want to put the regular question mark that we have on our keyboard. So I went to look for something more dramatic, which is this graphics. You already know how I did this. So I'm going to look for something that resonates with me, and that blue looks good. It actually looks good. It fits the whole thing. So I went ahead and chose that, and I inserted that into the whole template. So we have that now, and with this I'm just going to move things around so that it will come into its position properly, like it's there. Make sure it's not blocking anything written, make sure it's bold as well, like it's making a statement. So that was what I did. These are things I consider when I'm doing it. So I'll go ahead and click on that duplicate up there, and it duplicated another page for me. So all I have to do is just edit it, clear off the one that is already there, because it's a duplicate. So just clear it off, write the other things you need to write, and that was what I did for the rest of the other pages, which is the midwife, functions of a midwife, and all the stuff I read out earlier on. So now, because they say where does a doctor work, I really want him to know that this is an hospital, like a pictorial, not just with words. I needed to put more to it so that he can really understand, oh yeah, this is what a hospital looks like. And then again, just make it more like for children, because it's for children. Always consider that you're explaining something to a child, so you can easily grab it and understand the whole concept of the project that they were given to do. So I had to insert that element. I went to look for an hospital, I added that, adjusted it, and made it look good. So I also adjusted it by clicking on vibrance, like I said, increase the sharpness, the vibrance, and however you can tweak it just for it to pop. So when they print it, it looks good. And I did the same for the rest, change all the elements, and yeah, this is how it's looking, and I will show you how it looks at the end. So now, as you can see, this is how everything looks. You can see our doctor is in place, our nurse is in place, and our midwife is in place. I even chose a particular color for each of them, the midwife, the nurses, and the doctor. One is blue, one is green, and one is red, as you could see. And yeah, this is the final result. I have the printed stuffs here. A little bit too big, but I'll make it work. It'll look good. And this one, I have this magazine, so I want the hard cover. It's really hard. I really want the hard cover to protect it. And then I have my foam sheets of different colors. I just might use this one for decoration. And then I have some art stuffs inside this box, my colors, and the brushes are not here anyway. And I have my scissors, because I don't need the brushes, so I have my scissors. So Let me get to work. Inside as the outer layer, so whatever I'm putting will be inside here, and I'm just going to make this very solid with another paper. And yeah, this is where I ripped it apart from, and the material is still intact. I just used the art cover for it. I'm going to use this other part that I cut off, which is the remaining part of the magazine. I want to use this part as well, so I'm going to cut off this one and put it here to make it stronger, just so that it will have a bit of grip to it. And yeah. This is the front page. This will be the cover, the actual front cover, and I don't want it to be just blank that way because I want to put something on it. So for me to be able to put that stuff, which you will see, I need to put a normal regular A4 white paper on it so it will just glue perfectly. And I just went ahead and glued all this over it before adding the next thing. It to get stained, I'm going to turn this over and do this part. Let me put something here. So now it's time to layer our pages in it, and I want it in a way that I'll be able to flip it if it's going to, go through it. I want it to be flippable, and that means hence why I left the allowance at the side. I didn't trim that part because I knew that if I glue it together, it should be able to flip and not have space to flip where the diagram is. So as you can see it looks better this way, so I'm just going to glue all of that together. I put that aside, and I'm going to go ahead to cut out these little pictures we made and put that one aside as well while I collate the pages that I will put it on. I wish I had more resources. The truth is that I'm just making use of what I have, and I will use glue to just put it on the pages that I'm going to create. It's also going to be flippable, and then glue all these pictures on it. Like the doctor, I'm going to put the equipment he uses, the nurse on that page, the midwife same. So yeah, just watch me do that. I went ahead to use this little cutout foam sheets that we have left just to cover the glue there. I just want it to look clean and nice because the glue that is there is just a lot and it shows that it's been glued. So I don't want it tacky, even though it looks a little bit tacky. But anyways, I tried my best to just make it look more presentable by adding more foam sheets to it. And then I'm going to cut it to that layer. You'll see how I'm going to do that. After cutting that, I went ahead to look for letters of his name in that same magazine that is as bold as this. And yeah, I was lucky enough to find it. It's actually a magazine from his previous events in school way back. And I mean, what better way than to recycle it? I use that to form his name. I want his name to be on his catalog or project. I hope it's already looking like a catalog. I hope so. I hope so. We'll see at the end. Let's take this. I love these sticks because I'm just gonna put it across like this. I something to just not make it too blank. I always love cut out stuff before. Let me see. Because the hat. So let's see. This will work as the hat. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to do. Looks good. It's a simple catalog, and the essence of this is just the hat. I've already had this because I do a lot of crafts in this house, so I already have it cut out art. Thankfully, I put this here just so that this place is not so blank, and then put the extra doctor we made, the extra nurse, and the midwife, because I mean they all are the essential units of your well-being. And here we have who is a doctor. So let me flip that. It's easy to flip as well. Where does the doctor work? Who is a nurse? Responsibilities of a nurse. Who is a midwife? And functions of a midwife. Then we are asked to put each equipment a doctor uses. And this one, the nurse, what she uses. And then the midwife, what she uses. So that's all about it. I don't have much glue. I would have added more stuffs to it, but I think it's still okay like this. Still fine. It's all right. Yeah.